Hello, welcome to my channel. I am All Things Wrestling, and today I'm going to be giving my comments, opinions, and the results of WWE SmackDown Live 11th of October 2016. We kick off the show with Dolph Ziggler coming out. He says, "We did it. How about it?" He said he was having fun, but he wasn't sure whether he'd be here tonight. I suggest that you click the info button on your remote if you didn't believe me. I don't know what that's actually referring to. Maybe it's an American thing. Ziggler did wonder if it would be his last night there, his last night taping his wrist, his last night spray tanning Zack Ryder's back. He was doubting himself, but he knew where he belonged as soon as he stepped in the ring and meet Biz, despite Maurice and the Spirit Squad. Then Miz comes out with Maurice, all dressed in black. They stop in the middle of the ring for a moment of silence. He says, "You're going to say something or what?" And he went, "Shh. I would like to announce the death of the IC title." Miz says, "I'm the one bringing Prestige back to this title, not you, not Daniel Bryan. This isn't the end of the story. This is only Act 2. I am the hero. The hero always overcomes and gets the gold and gets the girl. I've got the girl, and I'm going to get my gold back." Then Ziggler shows a reaction to Miz crying at the end of the show, and Miz says that's not funny. And then everyone started chanting, "You were crying." And Miz says, "You saw how far I went to defend my title. How far do you think I'm going to be to get it back?" And then Miz says, "I'm not done with you, and neither are them." And then Kenny and Mickey from the Spirit Squad come back out. Then we have a 2-on-1 handicap match, Ziggler versus the Spirit Squad. Ziggler hits Kenny with a super kick for the win. Miz hits the rings and beat down Ziggler, hits him with a skull crushing finale, orders the Spirit Squad to grab Ziggler, and then Rhino and Heath come out to make the save. Then we have a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. They issue a challenge to Raw for Survivor Series, saying we should have a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match with the top superstars from each brand. Then we should have a elimination match for the top 5 teams. And then we should have an elimination match for the 5 best women from each brand. I kind of feel it quite interesting, and I'd like to see that. Then we see a video from earlier where Carmella beats up Nikki Bella. Then we have a match, Carmella versus Naomi. Carmella beats up Naomi just before the bell rings, and then we go to commercial and we come back and they start the match. Nikki Bella comes down to the ramp, distracts Carmella, and Naomi rolls her up, and then Nikki comes in and chases Carmella away. Then we had a backstage segment with Alexa Bliss and Audrey DiMarco, and asked about how Naomi's recent run is going. Bliss says, "I wasn't prepared for a rave, and Naomi's entrance gave me motion sickness. I can beat her any day of the week and twice on Sundays." Daniel Bryan says, "Any day of the week?" And she went, "Yeah." I'm like, "How about next Tuesday?" Then we had a match, Gable versus Jimmy. Jimmy rolls up Gable, and then Jay puts his foot onto his brother to help him get the pin. I love their little rivalry going on at the minute. It's quite entertaining. Then we have a backstage segment with Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder. I hate Mojo Rawley, but what are you going to do? Mojo moans at Ryder for not partying with him last night. Said, "You're probably at home playing with your toys." And then Ryder says, "We should stay focused on the titles." The Ascension appears and just stares him down, and they ask, "How long have you been there?" He just finished getting changed. Then AJ Styles comes out for his victory speech. He talks about beating John Cena and Dean Ambrose on Sunday and told the crowd to cheer for him, and then called them all losers. He said there's only one room for one on the bandwagon. They said they could cheer for Cena, but he's off trying to be Kelly Ripa's co-host. They could cheer for Ambrose, what they did. He seemed surprised that they could actually like someone like him. And then Cena reiterates that he beat both men at the same time. He suggests that most champions would take a year off, a month, or even at least a night after a big victory like that. And he says, "I'm not like that. I'm going to give one person an opportunity." And then Dean Ambrose comes out. He said, "I know you weren't talking about me." "No, I wasn't talking about you, Ambrose. I had you beat on SmackDown, AJ. I had you tapping out at No Mercy. You don't get two people tapping out one person at a triple threat, Dean. You don't want no, and nobody is going to jump ahead of me, AJ. And then Styles says the person isn't actually on the roster. He calls for a mystery person to come down, and it's the legendary James Ellsworth. Oh yes, he is back. Styles said this is going to be a non-title match, and Ambrose is like, I actually really want to see this. I'm going to sit ringside. And he says, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for James Ellsworth. I don't want you sitting at ringside and distracting him. Please get to stepping and head back. Daniel Bryan comes out and says, you may be the champ that runs the camp at AJ, but I'm the guy who runs SmackDown. I make the matches. I happen to be a massive, huge James Ellsworth fan, and this match is happening. And you're right, AJ, Dean won't be at ringside because he'll be the special guest referee. Then Ambrose comes in, takes the actual shirt from the referee, and then he starts... Daniel Bryan says if AJ puts his hand on Ambrose, he'll be fined or suspended just like any other official. And then Ambrose empties his pockets all into AJ's hands, and AJ just throws his belongings on the floor. Dean calls for the bell, checks for foreign objects on AJ. Then we had a lot of shenanigans in the actual match. Styles punches Ellsworth, leading him and Ambrose getting an argument about whether or not closed fists are illegal. They actually are. And then Ellsworth punched Styles. Styles chased after him, and then as they get back in the ring, Ambrose trips AJ, and then AJ got in the face of Ambrose. Ellsworth gets him for a schoolboy. Ambrose starts a fast count, but 2. And then Dean gets a phone call while Ellsworth is tapping out to the calf crusher. And then Ambrose goes out and starts flirting with a fan that wants a signature and a selfie. AJ doesn't just like this, knocks out the photo, and the woman's not impressed. And then they get back in the ring. AJ Styles hits a Styles Clash on Ellsworth. I think he botched it a bit because the guy didn't really seem to recover from that. They get a 1-2. Ambrose stops the count, just stares him down. Does end up delivering a dirty deeds, staring at AJ, staring at Ellsworth, drags Ellsworth over him. 1-2, kick out. Ambrose goes back out, takes a sip from a fan's cup of soda or beer, whatever it was, comes in, hits another dirty deeds, put Ellsworth on there, and another quick pin for a 1-2-3. James Ellsworth just pinned AJ Styles. Seriously. Everyone was ecstatic, apart from JBL, who absolutely threw a hissy fit over it. Then we had a Randy Orton segment. Randy Orton was talking to Kane backstage. He says, I'm tired of living in Bray's world. Come and live in my world. It's filled with pain, misery, and voices telling me to stop. I don't listen. Do you want to come along for the ride, Kane? And Kane's like, yes. And then he says, Randy, you got issues. I actually laughed at that. It was quite funny. Then we had a backstage segment. Styles was yelling at Daniel Bryan and threatening to hit him. Shane comes in and says, look, you're the one who wanted the match. It's on your head. You should be angry at yourself. And it's official. You lost to Ellsworth. And Styles, after getting a bit wild up, says, I'm going to just have to take things into my own hands. And then Shane says to Bryan after, I've got an idea for Ellsworth next week, which was kind of good. Then we had Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Randy Orton and Kane. Harper cut a promo saying this world has put him to sleep, but now he's awake and he can see the light. Wyatt says the light burns brighter than ever. And then he says, Randy Orton, bring your monster Kane so you can both get a beat down. Then they had a great match. The finish was awesome. Kane, Randy Orton was going for a tag on Kane. We did the Wyatt screen, and Luke Harper was standing with his hand out where Kane was, and Kane was nowhere to be seen. And then he turned around to his sister Abigail. It was absolutely awesome mind tricks. I absolutely loved it. This was a very, very good episode of SmackDown. Shame Becky Lynch is still out with her non-physical medical issue, whatever that actually is. There's been no news updates whatsoever. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you later.